Hey everyone, welcome back to another math video. Today we're going to be talking about how to solve linear inequalities. Let's go ahead and let's get started. For today's examples, we're going to be looking at some one-step and two-step and maybe some multi-step linear inequalities. We're going to learn how to solve them and then how to graph them. So here I have x plus 9 is greater than 15. The first thing I want to do for this problem is subtract 9 from both sides. I'm left with x, the 9's cancel out, is greater than 15 minus 9 is just 6. So we've solved this inequality, and now the next step would be to graph it. So let's go ahead and let's cover some ground rules on how to graph inequalities. Now today we're learning how to graph inequalities on number lines. So let's go ahead and discuss real quick, what do the symbols mean and what does each symbol get graphed as? So the first symbol that we're going to talk about is x less than 3. When you see x less than 3, you're going to want to use an open circle and you're going to make your line go to the left. We're talking about all the numbers that are smaller than 3, so we want to go towards the direction of the left side. The next graph would be x greater than 3. Notice this one also has an open circle, but now we're going to go in the direction of the right. One little tip that helps me remember which direction to draw my line is at the end of my line, that little arrow should match the direction of my symbol. Also, these first two, since they don't have the equal to line underneath, they get drawn as open circles. So, you'll see that in the next two examples, where we talk about x being greater and less than or equal to, these two symbols actually have a shaded in circle. So on that first example, we're going to see x less than or equal to 3. We would draw a shaded in circle over number 3, and again we're going to go to the left. All the less thans go to the left. If we're talking about something that's greater than, our arrows are going to go to the right, but you can see x greater than or equal to 3. Here we have a shaded in circle and our arrows going to the right. So we use this to help us graph. So I'm going to go back to the one we had, x greater than 6, which means I'm going to use an open circle. If I go back and reference my chart, x greater than 3 was an open circle going to the right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and draw number 6 on my number line, and we're going to use an open circle, and we're going to go to the right. Okay. The next thing I want to look at, okay, here's another one-step inequality, but this one brings up a very important rule that we need to remember when we're working with inequalities. Some of you might remember it, and that is when you divide and multiply by negative. Every time you divide and multiply by negative, we need to flip the direction of our inequality. So this gets reversed at any point in which I divide or multiply by a negative number. So for this problem, it just so happens that I need to divide it by negative 3 on both sides, which would leave me with x. And because I divided by a negative, my symbol now switches direction from being x greater than, now it's going to say x less than. 15 divided by negative 3 would get me a negative 5. And now for this graph, I could go back and I'd reference the graph, but you'll see that for this occasion, we are going to do, again, an open circle because we don't have that equal to line underneath. And this is going to go towards the left. Okay? So now we're going to get into some two-step inequalities that we also have to solve and graph. This next one, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to subtract 15 from both sides. That'll leave me with 5x is less than or equal to negative 25. Then I can simply divide by 5 on both sides, leaving me with x less than or equal to negative 5. So for this graph, I am going to have a shaded in circle because I have the equal to mark, And because it is less than, I'm going to go towards the left. And that's how we solve and graph this one. Let's go ahead and let's do one more example. Here I have to combine like terms of 4x and the 2x. So let's go ahead and let's combine these two. 4x plus 2x would get me 6x. At plus 1 is greater than or equal to 5. I can then subtract 1 from both sides. That'll leave me with 6x is greater than or equal to 4. I can then divide by 6 on each side, leaving me with x is greater than or equal to 2/3. So our first fraction, we can just write 2/3. And in this case, I'm going to have, again, because of the equal to line, a shaded in circle. And because it is greater than, x greater than 2/3, I'm going to go towards the right. And that's how we solve and graph linear inequalities. So I hope these examples on how to solve linear inequalities have helped you learn and understand how to solve them and graph them. Now, as always, I recommend going at your own pace. There's no need to be ashamed about pausing and rewinding. Going at your own pace is always the best way to learn math. Take notes if you need to. Now, if you felt completely lost, you might benefit from going back and watching the videos I've done on solving one-step and two-step equations. That might be the missing piece that you're needing to watch this video. If you felt comfortable with all this material, then I'd say definitely look out for the next videos on inequalities and systems of linear equations. So, keep in tune for that, and as always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, and thank you for subscribing. You guys have a good rest of your day.